Sure, sure. Your thoughts about how this meeting was conducted this morning?
Well, it was an absolute. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. They completely bypassed all rules. They trampled upon the rights of the public that stood here today hoping to testify. They wouldn't accept an amendment. See, the thing is, last Friday morning, this bill in that joint hearing, 1001, first of all, didn't exist. It was never handed down. Even when they testified, they came up and they said, we're testifying on the Senate bill. Never even mentioned a House bill. There was no hearing. It was only handed down yesterday, which gave us 18 hours to even begin thinking about offering amendments. Normally they ask for 24, but they called the meeting giving us only 18. So we had a right to hear those amendments today. And for the worst thing that happened today is the time frame. 6 minutes and 25 seconds for what we just saw on the House floor. It was a sham. It was very similar to what took place in the summer when the vote came down with the numbers already pre-selected to win the right to work. Go ahead. Bottom line, we're standing on our laurels. This is not the #1 priority for Hoosiers in the state of Indiana. #1 priority, let's start talking about it. Let's start bringing people back to work. It's jobs, and this is no jobs bill.
What will Democrats do in response to this?
Well, very shortly at this point, I think we'll be having a caucus. It would be my guess. That's what the leader is going to call for, and we'll discuss that. But what we saw today was 100% outrageous.
Is it your inclination to walk out again?
My inclination is that we should be, at this point in time, we should be furious. They've trampled upon not all the rights of Hoosiers. There were people here, we just simply wanted to have amendments heard, to have a chance. And when he said, well, you can have the chance on the floor, there never was a hearing. Representative Craig Fry stated in all the years he's been here, he has never seen such an obstruction of justice.
Representative Torr said we could have had 4, 6, 8 hours of testimony. The vote would have been the same. Everyone knew how the committee was going to come down.
What does that have to do with anything? You still have denied the people the right to testify. You denied their right. They denied it last Friday because there was no House bill. There was no House Bill 1001. There's not a bill unless it's been handed down. So you always have in two chambers. You can call a meeting, you can call a joint, but there's never been a precedence for this. And we don't think it's right when you're talking about the most important piece of legislation that probably in 50 years, and they're going to ram it down our throats today in 6 minutes and 25 seconds.
What can we now expect when and or if there is a floor vote? Is it going to be another 6.5 minutes?
That's, I don't know. I guess you'll have to talk to the speaker about that, but I'm going to tell you what, we're going to do everything within our power and use everything within our means to make sure that the public has full awareness of what this issue is. It's a sham. It is a right to lower people's wages and a right to kill unions. You know, let's put it this way. If they're going to admit to this right to work and they say it's the #1 priority, at least have the guts to be honest about it. Say, we're trying to kill unions. This is what it's about. And in killing unions, you're not only hurting paychecks for union members, but you're hurting all people's paychecks, because those paychecks all go upon the type of wages you get from unions. You're lowering wages.
Last question, and I asked this of Leader Bauer yesterday. Is this inevitable? Is there anything that the Democrats can do to stop it, or is the game plan now just delay?
The game plan is for the public to have full knowledge of what's going on. I don't have that crystal ball day by day. I guarantee you this is a day-by-day thing. And I think the people are coming together much more significantly. We're seeing much more uprising where people are saying, I've had enough, this is wrong. So is it inevitable? No, I don't think it's inevitable. I think the speaker should really begin looking hard, and Governor Daniels. I think both of them should be starting to look very hard and figuring out that, you know what, maybe this isn't right for Hoosiers.
What do you think? 2 weeks, 3 weeks before there's going to be a vote?
I have no timeline. I have no idea. You know, the public, the people will decide that. We'll go upon how the people lead us, what we should do. We have a job to do too. We have a voice. It's a minority voice, but that voice has the same right to be heard.
This is my last question, I promise.
I'm not the one to, I can't call that. I'm not the leader.
If they're doing this to you before the Super Bowl, what kind of treatment do you get after the Super Bowl and after all that attention goes away?
Well, see, that's a big part of it. I mean, everybody on their side, I think, is trying to push this through so fast before the Super Bowl, but I'm not certain that's a very good idea either, because the reality is, I think there's going to be a lot of very, very unhappy people once that happens, and I don't know what the heck could happen after that vote. This is what they've called to be their number one priority. They have drawn the line, and it's up to them to pull this back. That's what they should do.
Thanks, Ron.
Can you tell me who you are and who you represent, sir?
Representative David Nizgotsky. I'm the ranking minority member of the Labor Committee. I serve in House District 7, and that is in St. Joseph County, South Bend.
Good luck to constituents, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Ron.
you.